So the first 6 things a woman notices: number 1, your physical attributes. Next up, your clothing and accessories. After that, she's going to pick up on nonverbal communication. And right after that, she's going to pick up on how you socially interact. Now, once the conversation starts, within seconds, she's going to pick up on your personality traits. And last but not least, she's also going to pick up on your interest and lifestyle choices. So first up, gents, we've got your physical attributes. And this makes sense because whenever you're meeting somebody for the first time, they are visually going to look you up and down, and they're going to make a judgment. Yes, I know it's totally superficial, but the reality is we all do it. That being said, you've got a lot of control here. And if you just follow a few of the points in today's video, guys, you're going to be able to go from a 3 up to a 7 or an 8. And if you're to take action on all this, putting it into practice daily, guys, there's no reason you can't get up to a 9, maybe even a 10. All right, so maybe the 10 is pushing it. You're not Giga Chad. So first up, cleanliness. Guys, shower daily, shower after working out. Wash your clothes. If anything stinks, don't wear it. Next up, take care of your body. Pay attention to your build. Go to the gym. This isn't a fitness channel, but I will say that that is life-changing. Exercising, maybe it's just going to be jump rope. Maybe it's 5 push-ups a day. Guys, get started. Next up, let's talk about hair. If you've got it, go to the barber. Make sure you get a great haircut. Stay on it every couple weeks. I like to schedule it in advance. Use a product that will keep your hair in place. Maybe experiment with products. Experiment with different hairstyles. Now, what if you don't have any hair? What if you're bald? Not a problem. A lot of ladies love a bald man, as the bald guys can tell us down in the comments. I want to hear from you, bald guys. Or maybe grow a little bit of hair on the face. Beards, another thing that a lot of women have fetishes for this stuff. In fact, I'll bring it up now, and it's an important point to understand, gents, is not everyone is going to be attracted to you, no matter which style or look that you've got. For some, you're going to be too young. Other ones, you're going to be too old. For some women, you're just not, there's going to be something off. You're not going to be their type. But be your best self. Work to become that best self. And yeah, you'll find that there are plenty of options out there for you. They're going to like the way you look if you own it. Now, perhaps the only exception to this is thinning hair on top, which actually happens to most men. As you get past the age of 30 into your 40s, your hair naturally thins. Now, if it still is up there and you've got it, you may want to check out Vitaman. They're the sponsor of today's video, but their thinning hair treatment kit. Now, what I love about the Vitaman Thinning Hair Treatment Kit is that everything is natural, everything is organic. Let's talk about the products in there. First up, you've got the thickening shampoo. This shampoo is specifically formulated not to be thick and heavy and weigh down your hair. The same thing with the thickening conditioner. It's going to go in there and repair hair follicles, but it's not going to weigh them down and make them lay flat. And the secret ingredient to all this, Vitaman's hair food. Now, this is a product you apply between shampoo and conditioning for about 15 minutes. What it does is reinvigorate the scalp, and it remineralizes the hair follicles currently on your head. The result, gents, is thicker, fuller looking hair. Now, as most of you guys probably already know, I'm an owner of Vitaman, so I stand behind every product we sell. Seriously, we've got a 100% money back guarantee. Use that link in the description of today's video to get the best deal over at Vitaman with our hair thinning treatment kit. Next up, let's talk about the skin on your face, the skin on your hands. If it chaps, if it's peeling, guys, come on. Use a conditioner, use an exfoliator. Exfoliators you use probably about 2 to 3 times a week. They're going to help to remove dead skin cells, mostly on the face. You can use them though throughout the body, on the body. If you're getting a bit of acne, then you'll want to be able to find a body exfoliator that's going to help remove that skin and clear up the pores. Now, if you're dealing with shaving bumps, a quick tip right here is to actually use a shaving oil, then a shaving gel on top of that. Those 2 layers, the oil with a water-based shaving gel, is actually going to provide a much better shave no matter what type of razor you're using. And speaking of hands and skin, let's now go over to the nails. Nails technically are part of the skin system, but yeah, a lot of guys chew their nails. If this is you, consider a manicure. I'm not kidding. If you actually spend good money on your nails, you are not going to be chewing them. Quick hack right there. But it is something that at least cut your nails once a week. And it's not just about clippers. Scissors are going to be better. And what's even better is actually going over them with a file. But if you're going to use a file, make sure to use it properly by going in one direction. Some of you guys watching are saying, come on, Antonio, I don't shave my face. I've got a beard. I'm a manly man. Get that. Love it. But make sure you're using a beard oil and that you're properly grooming and taking care of that beard. You know, you don't want to have just that little bit of beard up here and then the full-on neck beard. Yeah, that's not really good look. And if you haven't already, grab a pair of trimmers. That right there is going to allow you at home to be able to keep that beard in check. Now, when it comes to tattoos and piercings, this can be something that polarizes people. Some people love it. Some people hate it. There are those that, yeah, they're in the middle. They really don't care. But I do think that it's something, if you're going to have them, own it. You probably already do, but a lot of guys I know have tattoos. Maybe they cover them up, especially when they're at work or they're getting off of work. Maybe you've got a piercing that you can take out. I would say if it's part of your personality, if you normally wear it, you probably already know this, but just wear it with confidence because it's who you are. And wrapping up physical attributes, let's talk about the way you smell. And I talked about cleanliness at the beginning. I'm assuming you are clean, you are showered. Do you want to wear a fragrance? I like to be discovered, not to announce myself, because it can be a bit off-putting if you have a stronger smell than she does. That being said, if you want a fragrance that in general is going to attract the ladies, go for something a bit sweeter. A lot of guys think this isn't masculine. Guys, I can tell you, vanilla, gourmands, these type of fragrances, the ladies absolutely love them, and that's why they're in some of the most popular clubbing scents. Next up, let's talk about clothing and accessories. Now, as you guys know from my channel, I'm more of a classically styled guy, but I get that. Not every guy is like this. A lot of you guys are street style. Some of you guys are going to be more rockabilly, or you've got your own look. The thing is, put some thought into it. And I do think it's a huge advantage if you stand apart from the crowd. I'm not saying you got to be outlandish, but I am saying if you got a bit of style, a bit of flair, it's going to be something that all of a sudden she's going to wonder, who is that guy? And you've got to own this. This is probably the most important part here, is have confidence in what you're wearing. Now, at this point, some of you guys are probably saying, well, Antonio, is there a particular style that is going to attract the ladies more than others? I'd have to say there isn't. There are so many options here, guys, and so many women like different types of guys. So I would just go with your natural style, but step it up, maybe half a degree, but beyond that, all of a sudden it's going to put you outside of your comfort zone. That's what you don't want to do. And I know at this point, some of you guys are saying, well, Antonio, I always just wear a t-shirt, jeans, and running shoes. If that's the case, come on, you've been watching my channel for a while. Guys, step up your daily wear, because here's the thing. You never know when you're going to be making that first impression. That's what I love to see, when you can leverage style and use it to your advantage. Now, specifically, what about jewelry? What about rings? What about necklaces? Other things like that. We talked about piercings. This is something, again, I like it when a man can bring in a bit of personality. Maybe you've got, a certain pinky ring, or you've got a family crest ring, something that you wear, again, day to day. That is perfectly fine. Now, for me personally, I keep it really simple. On my right hand, I've got my wedding ring. I was married in the Ukrainian Orthodox Church. On my left hand, I've got my Oura ring, which tracks whenever I go run and exercise and my sleep patterns. I also love to wear a watch. Tons of options when it comes to watches. Maybe you want to go with a classic dress watch. Maybe you want to go for a dive watch. I like dive watches because I feel I can dress them up, dress them down. Now, do you need to go out there and spend thousands of dollars on a watch? No. In fact, research shows that women actually, most of them aren't watch people, some of them are, but most women just actually notice it is a nice watch with a bit of shine to it. But what if you're just a sports watch type of guy? You're a Casio G-Shock, or maybe you're just an Apple Watch kind of guy. Nothing wrong with that. That being said, if it's not your personality, don't do it. All that being said, there is one thing though you got to pay attention to. Your shoes. We've talked about it before, whether you're going to be wearing boots, whether you're going to be wearing sneakers, whether you're going to be wearing dress shoes. Make sure you take care of them. They shouldn't be beat up. They shouldn't be ragged. And your clothing in general should never have stains, holes, or be dirty whenever you're making a first impression. We don't zero in on shoes like the ladies do. Now, again, you could go with Air Jordans. It could be something that, hey, you want to bring in some boots and you like the way they give you a little bit of height advantage, which is another thing that can, boots are never a bad thing, except in a really dressy situation, or you could bring in a pair of Chelsea's. Point being is shine them. If they don't take a shine, then just simply make sure they are clean. They're nice and white if they're sneakers. Okay, so now let's talk about body language, the nonverbal communication thing. So first up, she's going to notice the way that you are standing, the way you're presenting yourself. If you look like you are a threat, if you're coming off as really like standoffish, guys, people aren't going to be as likely to approach you. Some people will, maybe that know you, but if you look like you don't want to be approached, understand that people are going to take that hint and they're going to believe you and probably not approach you. And right with that, let's talk about posture. So when you're standing, stand up straight, roll the shoulders back. It pushes out the chest. It just makes you look stronger and more masculine. A lot of guys, because, constantly looking on our phones, our head is down. Or maybe you just simply feel like you need to shrink up and take less space. All of these things right there are sending signals that you are of lower status, that you're trying to hide yourself. It doesn't mean you are, but it is a signal you're sending. And why send mixed signals, especially when you're wanting to attract people, you're wanting people to come up and talk with you, you're wanting to grab her attention. Now, what about eye contact? So when you're speaking with somebody, you want to maintain eye contact for about half the time. And then it's okay to look over here a little bit more than half the time, 60 to 70%. But it's okay to break eye contact or to look down and to nod your head like you're thinking, you're listening. I find that this really works for me. Now, if you're talking to multiple people, you're going to move eye contact in about 70 to 80% of the time. You're going to be maintaining it with multiple people. You're talking to multiple women. So just, go from one to the other. Do not focus in on one. Yes, I know she's the cute one. She's the one that you want to, get the number from, but talk to her friends. Treat everyone with respect. This is something they pick up on, and they kind of like, oh, he's interested in my friends as well. All of a sudden, you create that little bit of competition. We naturally make eye contact with people that we're walking past that we see in a place. Nothing wrong with that. If you keep it for more than a second, for about 1 to 2 seconds, that right there, it feels longer for a lot of people and is difficult. I know that for the longest time, I would make eye contact and look down. So what I recommend is that you practice making eye contact with everyone. But I do think that a lot of women still today in this modern world expect a man to be able to have a little bit of eye contact, especially if he's interested in her. Next up, let's talk about social interactions. And this one's pretty big. And I think the most important one here to understand is the way other people treat you. She's going to pick up on this. So if you walk into a club, you walk into a bar, you walk into a party, and everybody knows you, or at least it seems like everybody knows you, and they're treating you like you are the man, she's going to assume that you are the man. Now, there are tricks and tips to actually make this happen. One is to actually have spotted out the place, to go to places you're familiar with, to actually know people. But I know the people that walk into places, they don't know anyone, but they immediately talk to the bartender, get his name, start joking around, having a good time, and then they move and they start just talking with other people. An hour later, they have already, talked with, 5 to 10 other people who have already shown her that this is somebody that other people are approving of. And this is key because a lot of women are looking at it from a safety perspective. And what better way to know that this guy is safe, that he has been approved of other people, even if she doesn't know them. It also displays your conversation skills. The fact that you were able to have multiple conversations, all this is warming you up. And all of this is learnable, guys. It isn't something that we're born with. We practice, we put in the effort, and all of a sudden you become better once you've put in the reps. Now, when you're talking with her, she's going to pay attention to a number of things. First up, your mannerisms, the way that you talk, the way that you move, the way that you treat others. Maybe you guys are at the bar. She's going to look at the way that you treat the bartender, the way that you talk to others. Now let's talk about your personality traits. First up, did you have the confidence to go up and just start talking with her? Yes, she had a boyfriend and you pretty much got shot down, but you still had a nice conversation. And so she formed a good impression of you. But maybe she didn't. And maybe, hey, she actually recognizes that you did come up and talk to her because she's been at events where other men are intimidated. Yeah, they'll make eye contact, they'll look at her, but they won't come up and talk. So by having the confidence just to throw your hat in the ring, guys, you are setting yourself apart. Next up, your sense of humor. And women, they love a man with a sense of humor, especially high humor. High humor is where you can use sarcasm, where it basically shows that you can think, versus low humor is going to be slapstick humor. That's going to be crude humor, using jokes like that. Next up, do you have a passion? And can she tell that in the voice? Now, it's not, you're going to start a conversation off relatively light, but once you get into the conversation and you start talking about things you're excited about, or get her to talk about things she's excited about, all of a sudden, is there passion in the conversation? Next up, let's talk about authenticity and vulnerability. I'm not saying you want to drop this into every conversation, but if it goes that direction, hey, you're being pretty authentic, you're maybe being a bit vulnerable, all of a sudden, she can connect with you as another human being. Next up, let's talk about intelligence and open-mindedness. They're not actually the same thing, and women do like a guy that has both of those things. So first up, intelligence. You don't need to show that you're more intelligent than her. She's just more wanting to see, are you actually someone that she can have a good, intelligent conversation with? Do you understand what she's talking about? Are you basically at the same level? That's usually what women look for. Maybe you're even at a higher level, and she can pick up, wow, this guy's really smart. Next up, open-mindedness. Usually what women are looking for is somebody that has his convictions, but is open-minded to things that maybe he doesn't know everything about, and he's open to learning more. Now, we talked about the way that you treat others. It's also, she's going to pay attention to your generosity. Are you somebody that doesn't leave a tip? Yeah, you got her a drink, but you didn't tip anything to the bartender. Speaking of open-mindedness, let's talk about shared values and beliefs. For some religious people, you need to be a part of that religion for that conversation and for the relationship to really, go beyond that first night. Other people are going to be more open to it, but it is something that, you know, she's probably going to ask a few probing questions. Maybe you should be asking these questions, because don't forget, guys, whenever you're talking with the ladies, it's an interview both ways. That's the way I look at it. And I think that puts you in a position of strength when she is, you know, put on notice that you are also making a choice here. And really quick, let's talk about punctuality and reliability. Are you someone that she can rely on? So you agreed to meet for, you know, this blind date at 8 o'clock and you show up 30 minutes late, or you forget your wallet, or, you know, a number of things could happen, but are you setting the first impression? Always try to be early. Always try to show that you are somebody that can be depended on. Next up, let's talk about your interests and lifestyle. So this is something, as you know, when you're meeting somebody for the first time, when you got a few seconds, what are you doing? Or even before you met up with them, you're doing the research. You're looking at their social profiles. You look at their Instagram account. You're looking at every Facebook, whatever it may be. You are trying to find out more information. Do you have friends in common? Yada, yada. So if you do have a social presence, make sure that you've gone through it, and maybe have, you know, your sister, maybe have somebody that you've dated in the past that's still a good friend. Maybe have another guy friend. Okay, look at this. How can I improve my profile? Guys, this is a big deal. There are so many ways that you can go through. I know my friend Blaine, she's a whole dating coach. She's developed a whole system on this. You know, I'll link to her down in the comments below. No affiliate or anything. She's just a good friend, but she talks about just simply looking at this and, hey, let's maybe hide some of those photos of you doing that keg stand, you know, 15 years ago without a shirt on before you lost that 50 pounds. Yeah, not necessarily the best photo up there that's going to make the good first impression. But let's not forget about how you can set up where you're actually meeting. So if you're interested in being around people that are active, it's going to say a lot about you. If you go to a singles group and they're going to be out rock climbing, they're going to be out mountain biking, they're going to be doing something active, they're going to be out sailing, they're going to be a different group of people. And all this is going to say something, and you could maybe show off your sailing abilities when you're in a group like that. Now, I know some of you guys are watching in San Antonio. Why don't you just be yourself? Well, guys, I think that's horrible advice. And I talk about it in this video right here. It's a video I put out a few years ago, but it is a solid video about why being yourself is some of the worst advice you could ever take. Seriously, check it out. Good video, guys. And yeah, I think you'll enjoy it. Boom.